sex in black and white. Okay, we're talking about today the codependent black and white thinking and how this affects our sex life. So hi, I'm Unique Bell. I'm a trauma-informed certified intimacy coach, and we are continuing the codependency recovery series today. So last week, I opened up our conversation on codependency and sex, speaking about how shame can actually drive us codependents to view sex and sexuality as a form of escapism. We perform a false sexual identity, and it becomes a way to avoid or escape that embedded shame within us. So if you'd like to check out that conversation, it's going to be in the info cards and also linked in the description. But we're continuing the conversation on how codependency can affect our sex life in today's video. Okay, so we've been talking about what drives codependency, this compulsion to people please, caretake, acquiesce, essentially make everyone else the focus of our own universe. And we've been talking about those driving emotional forces of shame, guilt, obligation, and how those feelings are actually a sneaky way, our nervous system's a sneaky way of trying to get a core need met, something that we are deeply hungry for. And so because codependents are other focused, it makes sense that our sexuality, how we approach sex, is very much informed by how we think we're going to be perceived or how we wish to be perceived. We're often navigating sex and sexuality and our sexual identity from a place that's not actually grounded in our own embodied sense of desire, pleasure, and what it is that we actually want. And if you've been doing work on consciously reclaiming your sexuality and exploring, you may notice that even as you're doing that very meaningful and important work, when you then go to be in relationship, codependency can still come up, right? It can still impact how you actually approach sex in your relationship. And one of the ways having a other focused brain, a codependent brain, can impact sex in your relationship is through what I'm calling black and white thinking. Because you're either trying to meet the needs of your partner or you're trying to mold yourself to fit a vision of acceptability, whatever is acceptable sexually within your circle, your community, your social group, then just as shame can actually cause a fragment within your self, your personality, how you relate to yourself, it can also create this fragmentation of how you view sexuality. So just as internally codependents feel that a part or a way of expressing is good or bad, then they can tend to look at sexuality in the same way. So just as you are cautioning off, you're like, no, I gotta hide those parts of me. That's not good because this person's not gonna accept it or it's not gonna meet their expectations. Similarly, you can do the same thing with your sexuality and sex in general. And here's the thing, this isn't about traditional versus non-traditional values. That delineation between what's good sexuality and bad sexuality is gonna be based on the dominant perception of what's acceptable in the social group or community that you personally are part of. So a stereotypical example is if non-heterosexuality is not embraced, then I'm going to squeeze myself into the normative box so that I don't step an inch out of line. But this also applies to non-heterosexual normative spaces. So if this is the accepted version of being gay in this circle, I gotta fit that. Or if this is what sexually awakened or liberated women do, then I'm wrong if I don't do that. I'm not liberated enough or awakened enough if I'm not aware into that. And so again, this goes back to the definition of codependency, right? And you can check out that first video from the series where I define codependency. It's not a specific set of behaviors or traits. You know, what's being a good girl in one environment isn't going to be the same in another. It's not about being a good girl or the kind of stereotypical versions of people pleasing that we think of. It's actually a compulsion to caretake, to people please, to reflect back what others need to see. And that's going to change depending on the environment. So you don't have to be a traditional minded person to be codependent. You could be edgy and punk and a rebel and still be doing it codependent. Hey, so I'm interrupting this video just for a quick second to ask if you could potentially give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe below. So I am dedicated to helping empathic souls just like you heal and experience soul deep love. And in order to do that, I kind of need your help. I need your help in getting this video pushed out by the YouTube fairies so that it can reach the people that it's meant to reach. And hopefully that means you have a bigger community here and more voices in the comments. So if you can just give this video a quick like and at the very end leave a comment if you like with your reflections, it just really helps a lot. So thank you so much if you can take a moment to do that. And now let's get back into the video. That kind of rigid black and white, this is what it means to be X, Y, and Z. And so if I'm going to be X, Y, and Z, then I have to be like this. And if I'm not, then I'm wrong, right? You can hear those, we spoke about the 3 unspoken vows of codependency, that I should, I need to, I have to. You can hear it even in that thought process. And again, you can check out the full series, the full playlist to catch that video and get caught up here. But you can hear it. You can hear it. It's the compulsion to fit very comfortably into what you believe is going to get you the love or the nurturing or the support that you desire. And I'll tell you what, this is a kind of healing milestone that I myself had to reach this year, because I realized I'd done a lot of work on healing my codependency, especially as it related to my sexuality. I am an intimacy coach. It's been a part of my training, my work. And I realized that I was bringing my own perspectives and almost creating this, like, this is what's this and this is what's that, you know, this is good, this is bad mindset as I was meeting new people this year, and was like, wait a minute, where is this all coming from? And so the work for me this year has been really embracing different perspectives and not feeling like it's something that I need to have any kind of judgment on. I don't need to understand it. I like to understand it. I like to learn more because I'm curious and this is a topic that I enjoy, but I don't actually need to have a judgment on another person's perspective or approach. I actually don't need to have that internal log going that's saying, that's wrong, that's good, that's bad, that's this, that's that. I actually don't need to do that. I can actually just be. I can just be. And I can allow them to be and their process to be. And there's nothing that needs to come after that. I can just be present with what I'm observing. And I don't need to be overly identified with my own labels. I don't need to be overly identified with anything. I think there's a real power in the healing journey and having a community that, you know, has a specific label that really resonates with you, and there's a lot of shared experiences. But I do feel that as we evolve and grow, especially spiritually, you start to realize just how undefined you are. Like the real you at the core of your being, it's actually undefinable. And like I said in the first couple of videos, I actually think this is why healing codependency can be such a powerful spiritual experience, because it does involve this dissolving of the ego and how we identify. It's almost like we get to turn the mirror inside out. And I know that doesn't quite make sense, but I hope you get it. It's almost like this twisting inward and finally seeing, wait a minute, if I'm not that and I'm not this, and I'm not defined by that, and I'm not tied to that, what am I really at my essence? Perhaps unlike those who haven't done this journey, you get to reorient yourself to your ego from an almost egoless place. Perhaps unlike someone who had the fortune of developing a healthy sense of self, a healthy sense of ego from a young age, you get to now go on this journey, which is so unique and so special, where you are coming towards the self. You're coming back to the self from a place of emptiness, because you have to empty, the jug of everyone else's opinions, everyone else's perspectives. And then you have this kind of vacancy. And within this vacancy, you can sense the deeper self. So I know I'm going a little bit deeper here than maybe you thought you would in this video, but it's such a powerful experience when that black and white thinking dissolves and you're able to finally hold things with truly no judgment, and you can actually experience yourself without labels and judgments. And this is really my invitation to you to keep going on this healing journey. Keep watching the videos in the series. And if you can, come and join us in Soul Deep Lovers Club. That's my membership. Each week in Soul Deep Lovers Club, you'll receive a weekly practice, and you'll also get access to our bi-weekly live healing sessions. And there's going to be one this week on Wednesday. This is a weird image, but it's kind of like unzipping yourself out of it and being like, what the fuck was that? So if you like that experience, come on in. But stick with this series, hit like and subscribe, because I have other videos coming your way. As you heal your codependency, you're going to feel that, oh my gosh, like shedding, like snake shedding old skin. You're going to feel that liberation. It's so good. So stick with us. And if you can, come and join Soul Deep Lovers Club. As you heal, the performance around sex, your sexuality, and your identity, it finally stops. The black and white thinking, the categorizing of good versus bad, finally ceases. And you not only free yourself, but you free others in your own mind. You're free to explore yourself in real time, explore your desires in real time. You're not chained to anything. You're not chained to others' opinions and perspectives. And you're also not chained to your own opinions and perspectives. There's no longer a rush to mold yourself into a protective cage of an identity, just so that you make sense within a society. You finally become at ease with being and at ease with life's unfinished business, because you're always going to be growing and evolving. This is not your final form, and there is no final form to reach. There's a liminality to life. We're always beginning again and again and again and again, never quite finishing. At the core of it, I do believe that codependency is a way that our nervous system tries to secure love or secure a deep unmet need and try to hold on to it as tight as possible forevermore. It's our nervous system testing out a theory of, if I mold to fit this, will I be loved? Will this person stay? Will I have security? And the painful answer that life will tell us again and again is no. I feel like I said that with a smile, and that is such a painful truth. But I'm smiling because on the other side of healing, you really realize that is not a bad thing. When you actually learn how to fill and feed that hunger inside of you and allow yourself to feel secure and safe and loved and nurtured, and let that come from within, let that come from your deeper self, then there's no need to grasp and mold and squeeze yourself into an impossible shape just for what? Things that are not permanent, things that you cannot secure no matter how hard you try. People will leave. You will lose love. You will lose your attractiveness, whatever. What you're really hungry for can only be filled from within. Okay, I surprised myself in this video. I went a little deeper than I thought I would, and I kind of maybe doesn't surprise me. This is why I love conscious intimacy and conscious sexuality, because it really is an invitation to explore the self in a way that you don't often get to, because you're really peeling back the layers and you get to really see your raw desires, your fears, all of it, the places where you don't love, the ways in which you do abandon yourself. But maybe we'll get into that in another video. If you are interested in working with me, again, Soul Deep Lovers Club, it's only $12 a month. Come on in. What excuse do you have? Come on in and come and join our live sessions. And like I said, I also offer weekly practices to you sent right in your inbox. And if you'd like to go deeper with me, simply reach out at uniquebell.com. Send me an email. Let me know you're interested in private coaching, and I'd love to get you set up with a free 40-minute breakthrough session. I'm trying to remember if it's 30 or 40 minutes. I will send you my calendar and we can get started. And yeah, come tell me your dreams, your desires, what you're struggling with, and let's go deeper together. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Unique Bell. Hit all the buttons below. Unless there's I don't know if there's like a dislike button, don't press that one. Press the thumbs up. Press the thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click the links in the description. Explore the other videos that I've got linked. And if you haven't already, watch the first part to this conversation. And in fact, just go ahead and binge the entire codependency recovery playlist. Why not? I particularly am really proud of the video on the 3 unspoken vows every codependent makes in childhood. So go check that out, and I'll see you next week. And hopefully I'll see you in Soul Deep Lovers Club this week. I'd love to see you in that live session on Wednesday. Bye for now. Happy Halloween, or maybe it's November now. I think this comes out at the start of November. Happy November.